Welcome. It is Wood. Heavy Talk Week 4, baby. We in the building. And guess what? As you can see, I'm out of studio. Yeah, I'm out of the studio. I am in Palm Springs, California. But the show must go on, baby. So that's what we did. Me and nephew popped in. We gonna pop on. We gonna pop out. And we gonna knock this show out, man. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's already went to our YouTube, subscribe, told a friend, share this. With every Tuesday, 6 p.m. That's right, Heavy Talk, the podcast on all our platforms. But we really want you to start locking down on the YouTube. This is the problem. Because if you lock down on YouTube, you subscribe, you share. The more we can get that done, we can go ahead and create our content, get paid for it, and we can keep this show at a minimum for those who come on and spread the word with us. My nephew is in the building, y'all. We got a lot of topics, things to knock out and put up. What up, nephew?
Good.
Nephew in the building, y'all. Listen, man, nephew excited. You know, we about to get ready to watch some basketball, some things of that nature. We got some topics we're doing. But this week, man, on this Heavy Talk thing, when we chop down into it, we want you to go ahead and get your popcorn, get seated. Y'all know we told you every week we're going to bring you something to talk about, something that the streets want to hear. And this week topic is going to be the entitlement era, man. I'm talking like, whoa, y'all got to get into it with us because something got to happen, folks.
The entitlement era. What that mean?
Something has got to. It just talk about, man, these parents who feel like they have to give their kids certain things, and kids who feel like they're owed certain things. You know what I'm saying? It's like there has to be a middle ground. You dig? And we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But I also want to tell y'all, what is this brought to you by? You know what it is. Big Daddy, all-purpose barbecue flavored cooking sauce. Big Daddy, all-purpose shake and rub. Y'all know what it is. Show your food some love. Go to www.bigdaddybomb.com. Pick you up some. If you're local, head on to Fairfield, Alabama, and go to Glenn Jones, man. Go see the new grocery store out there and pick you up some. Also, if you're in Alabama, stop by the Texaco on 119 and some of the Piggly Wigglies, man. So right now, that's what we brought
you. Real quick on that. Shout out to you and Mr. CJ down there at Carl Jones. We had the show yesterday. Shout out to Chef Pickens. She used your shake rub, and it turned out the whole. Oh my goodness! Shout out to you and Mr. CJ down there at Fairfield.
That's right. Carl Jones is the name of the grocery store. Y'all just say that if y'all are local and you want to shop and you want to support a good business, not just a black-owned grocery, but a good grocery, clean grocery with some great produce, some nice prices, Carl Jones in Fairfield is where you need to go. But I'm going to shout out also to Piggly Wiggly. I ain't biased because they was with me when nobody had me. The pig. So stop by Piggly Wiggly and go get you some of that Big Daddy shake and rub and some of that Big Daddy barbecue flavor cooking sauce, man. I want to shout out to myself, man. I used that sauce as a steak sauce the other night, and I put it in some baked beans and some spaghetti. Oh my God! It went down in a major way, man. So
see, Chef Pickens put it on some lobster.
Boy,
I was like, wait a minute.
Listen, I'm telling you, it's the dipping, the real dipping. We ain't tripping, we just dipping. Listen, so we got to get into our stuff down the line. But right now, let the heavy talk begin, man. We want to bring you up to speed, and we want to talk Cardi B. That's right, man. Cardi B and Offset been on the internet going ham. What they doing? They just like, okay, you gonna pay me? No, you gonna pay me. Now, I need, that boy said he need him some spousal support.
How you feel on that before I go in? Like, do you because there's a lot of women saying he doing a weak move. He already rich. He already well off. It don't make no sense for him to try to get some more money out of her.
Well, at this moment, it's pettyism. When you get to their level, right, of money, it's really kind of petty. But what happens is, I think he just want to show her, and somebody been in his ear and let him know, because this is what people don't understand. The law, right? No matter how you feel, it's about the law. And the law states in these cases, in these divorce cases, and things of that nature, if a person, and listen, look at my fingers, if a person has given you a lifestyle or afforded you a lifestyle that you haven't had but you're used to, and you can prove that they were the reason that you had that lifestyle and you all split apart, then the law says that they have an obligation to a certain extent to continue to live close to that lifestyle or continue to provide the things that they were providing for you within that lifestyle. You know, you will add 50 people and 30 will say it's fair, 20 will say it ain't fair. But the law is the law. And so when people know the law, right, they sometimes take advantage, or if they got the right players in their ear, they'll play it like it go. And I think, but when they both have money like this, I think people should just go about their business and continue their lives and their careers and be it as it may with that. But I think at this point, he's just really trying to prove a petty point and show up her lawyers and show up her. What you got, nephew?
I'm with him. I say go for it. If you can get it, go ahead and go for it. Because if we using what you just said, and I do agree with you, it is in your partner's right if that is the case. Who else but him can you play that card in this relationship? Let's remember now, Offset was already a thing with the Migos before Cardi B even got on the scene. Cardi B was at least 5 to 6 years down the line from him already being Offset. That's one. Two, the money that she generates almost usurps everything he does at this point in time. So if we talking about as far as career-wise and when she came in, he was a key instrument. His managing team was her managing team. You feel me? And if I'm not mistaken, it's still some parties that's still with her right now. That's third. If we going towards how they handle stuff publicly, I will say both of them nasty with how they handle stuff publicly. But a little bit down the road, it's some folks that's trying to beat them at that game. But to keep on them, how they handled each other, I will not defend on any grounds. They was being nasty. But
yeah, and like I said, but you made a point. Offset he had a group, or he was in a group prior to her, but at the same time, they hadn't. You don't know the backdrop of how much money had been put out. Was he really making money? Was he spending more than he make? People think that they see your name in the limelight, especially in the industry, you're making all this money, but the machine sometimes is putting out all this money to bet that you're going to make them their money back plus some, right?
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, I can definitely see on his end where he wants to use that. Hey, I need spousal support on his end, because all of his money, for what we know, he could be doing something else, but for what we know, all of his money has been from strictly music and touring.
Yeah.
All of Cardi B's money is easily in endorsements, in business acumen, and in other means. She hasn't dropped any real music for herself in years.
Yeah, and the other thing is that he can say he helped her build that. He helped.
Yeah, he helped build your image and your branding.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot to it, man. I wish nobody has to go through any of this, but I just think when they get to that level of it, take yours, man. Take your lick. You know what I'm saying? And go for it and rebuild yourself. But that's also a mindset. See, I have a hustler's mentality. So I'm not like begging this or that. I'm like, you know what? That didn't work. Let me take this I got over here, build this again. It's like the old saying, if you build one bridge, you can build another as long as you got the health and strength to do so. So I just, on a personal level, I wouldn't, if we both had bread and things had to do whatever, you know what? Take care of the kids. Do what you do. Let me see them. Let me still be a father in their life. And I'm going to do what I do. And with this bread thing, because That's just that's my personal now. This is my personal opinion that I am able to give. But if y'all got some opinions, hit me up in the comments. Leave a note or two on YouTube or on my page, and let me know what you think. But that's my personal belief. You did. And so as we segue to Petty, there's another couple out here in the music world that has been going super duper ham and ridiculous. And they're by the name of Remy Ma and Papoose. Let's talk about it. Remy Ma and Papoose. You know,
now, I will say this. I will say this though. If ever she needs a sugar baby, I am the perfect one. Please hit me up, Remy Ma. If you see this, I will make sure to be the best sugar baby for you.
You must have been how this lady get down, bro. You I think you might want to read some commentaries for you volunteer for this job, brother. You might want to see what the diggity will be before you go ahead and volunteer for this trip. Because okay, so I was looking at some stuff the other day online, right? And here's the thing. You know, when Pap came home, he was like, man, you know, she held me down. You know, it's black love. Everybody wanted to be Remy and Papoose. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And then all of the allegations started and the finger pointing and who did what and the confessions. I think at one point in time, Remy thought she was Usher and she like, it was my confession. You know what I'm saying? And it just didn't work out that well. And then, you know, Pap bounced back. He got him a girl, you did, and she didn't like him having his girl. And now the girl that he got trying to lay low, but Remy don't want no, she don't want no squabble with this one. This ain't no rap beef. You know what I'm saying? This girl a champion knockout artist. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't really trying to get that.
That's how she pay bills.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't what she want, like them young folks say. That ain't what she want, who she wanted with. So then Pap's girl kind of laid back, and she been throwing some quiet shots. You did trying to, you know how people try to stay out but stay in, but stay in but stay out. That was she been doing. So? You know, throwing a few quiet shots, but saying she said really between Pap and Remy, she trying to stay out of it. But every now and then when she get a little jab, she could throw a little jab in for all my internet trollers and people like that who like to get in it. Y'all go see what I'm talking about. You'll figure it out. But yeah, I think that Remy and Papoose is another example of people who just go their way. Like, figure it out. Figure it didn't work out. Go get yours. Let him just do what he's doing. You did. It was good while it lasted. We had it. It was a thing. We can't figure it out. And we did it for so many years. You know what I'm saying? To ourselves, why we have to introduce this to the internet like this, and it's such a nasty version. Because you know, just like most things, people like mess. So unless somebody's profiting from it, and I bet you they are, because you know, if you're a content creator, you getting views, you getting paid. So it's also a thing of, I'm gonna keep this mess going, because after I get that first meta check and I see that this mess pays, you know what I'm saying?
But that's why you do it.
Yeah,
that's right. That's why you do it. Now, as far as with them two, separated from recent moments, I guess you can say for Remy that she's not. Well, no, Remy gonna run into some mess if she want to. As far as Papoose, all we've seen from him is that he was holding her down until recent moments. And in recent moments, we've seen him officially really respond back and forth through comments and through videos. But a lot of folks had a lot to say beforehand, and he was really one of the ones not speaking on it. It was really just the women going back and forth.
He really didn't get into it until, you know, his name started being slung in the mud, and he was being put out there in negative light that he just felt like, okay, now it's time I have to step up. You know, there is such a thing as pushing people to their limits. Like,
now he said in one of the videos, it was because Remy mentioned the kids. A lot of folks was like, maybe that was an excuse to get off what you've been trying to get off. Other folks kind of like agree. Do you get where he coming from, or you still feel like he's just he being a female and he kind of disrespectful.
I don't think he's being a female. I think that he had a right to respond, especially when he said, because this is what it is as a male, right? Do me, talk about me. I can handle me, right? Say what you want to say about me. Whatever it is cool. Whatever you got to say is fine. I'm gonna let you have that, right? But at the same time, when you go to saying the things that I did or the stuff that I'm doing is affecting my kids, or I'm not doing things for my children, or I'm not taking care of my kid. Okay, time out. Hope, slow your bus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since you want to do that, let's talk about the things you did towards the kids. For some reason, people tend to forget. You know what I'm saying? Like they get this big cloud in their mind where they only remember the stuff you did, or the bad things you did. Like they've never done nothing bad, or I only did this because you did that. Nah. You wanted to do that, and you utilize that as an excuse to do that, but you don't have to do something because somebody else did something else. There's a thing in life called choices. You have a choice. Your reaction is a choice. Your actions are choice driven, right? So if I cuss you out right now, never you on TV, you have a choice whether you're gonna cuss me out back or you gonna wait to cuss me out or whatever, right? You don't have to, I cussed him because he cussed me. No. I chose to cuss him because he cussed me. I didn't have to. And that's what people don't understand. So I think at that point, that's that pushing across the border. That's that last level where I don't really think because of his action plan that Pat was really looking to get into it with her. But I think his line in the sand was, come on, girl, now you playing with me and my relationship with my kids. I got to come see you. I got to let people know, you know what I'm saying? Although you held me down, you did this, and that. You did whoop the whoop, you know what I'm saying? And I feel him on that, but there's continuous back and forth. Somebody got to stop it and be like, you know what? Enough is enough, because now it's who's going to out-petty the next person.
Yeah.
Now it has gotten to a contest of petty pushing. Who's gonna out-petty the last petty post? And like I said, I think money's involved now, because if I throw out a petty post and that meta check increased by 100 fold, I might have to throw out another petty post, nephew.
Shoot, I'm with you. But I do it all the strength. Next up in the news, let's gleam still in relationships, but let's gleam into some sports real quick. Travis Hunter. This happened not too long ago. Travis Hunter officially got married to his girlfriend. Let me ask this: how you feeling about that? Because I heard a whole bunch of think pieces on why this was the dumbest thing he could have did. But I'm interested to see your stuff.
I'm here with it. My personal opinion is it's his personal business. Because whatever come out of it, I ain't got to pay none of it. I ain't got to lose none of it. And I honestly, be honest with you, I wish him well. I hope he knows better than other people. Now, with evidentiary and internet, the internet investigators, and with their information that they put on the plate, bruh might be in a little trouble, because she ain't been the most saintly type person in life. There's some things that the internet done dug up and said that she got going on out there under his nose while he was at practice and doing some other thing. Can people change? They can. Will they be married for forever and outshine the world? Hopefully. But should somebody have advised him to protect his assets a little better? Rightfully so, because it ain't like She took care of him through college. They shared bowls of noodles, and like on the movie. What
I
that
mean,
movie?
he can't. I'm gonna be honest. He can't even use that. Like he had to touch a noodle. Like he
I said he
came
can't say.
into
That's what I
college.
said. It ain't like the movie with the two dogs and they sucked the spaghetti up and they was sharing the noodles. You know what I'm saying? They came in like we was down together, we were broke together. Because in college, that boy done made it. He done made some money now. You feel me?
He made some
So
dumb bread.
he might feel that in the dumb bread he made in college was the testing of the waters, and because she was solid and didn't do anything in college to make it seem that she would, do anything against him. But at the end of the day, man, to be honest with you, it's gonna be his boat to float. It's gonna be his boat to float, and I think we as people sometimes got to know when to get out of other folks' business.
This why I be with it. Travis he's in an unfortunate position because it looks like he's bound to fail. It looks like I mean, I get you 100%. We don't know how their relationship is for real. I only see what it is in media and how it was when we have seen them outside. It's been a little like shaky. It's like, oh, she look like she just here for the ride until she get what she want. So I do feel you on that, but I will always go back to that clip I saw of Steven Jackson when he was in the middle of the stuff, where he was getting down and he really, really loved the girl. And then he's been openly transparent with the fact that he needs a prenup to even go through with this just because of the assets that he built that was removed from her. You know what I mean? And the fact that she couldn't even do it or sign off on it, that was his sign there. Like it's little stories like that, and then it's the other stories where you see from other athletes where they haven't did it and they got everything took from them, just like that. So it's like, man, I didn't see no hurt in bringing in a prenup, but like you said, it is his life. We'll see where it goes from now.
Let me explain this to you, nephew, because you've never been married, right?
Nah.
So here's the thing. In some people's mind, right? In some people's mind, a prenup is like saying, eventually it's probably not gonna work out. So in case it doesn't, it's almost like getting married with a hey, if this don't work out, now see her over there, I'm gonna pick her next, right? So you better do what you need to do to stay number one. Or a thing that so it depends on the mindset of a person. And you never know their mindset. Some people they think if they introduce anything such as a prenup or whatever, it interrupts the forever. Because people want to believe in forever. They want to believe that it's going to be forever. They want to believe there's not going to be there may be some rough time, but there's not going to be a split. And although
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I got you. I'm gonna let you go because I'm ready for this
one. Well, the only thing about it is, ain't that being pessimistic? Ain't that being negative around your relationship? Just because I want to protect something I built up before you came in, like.
But watch this.
Let's say that didn't happen, but down the line, the other person wanted to leave. I can't get mad that you want to leave, but you will have the whole you'll have all the right in the world to ask for alimony if we built something together. You feel me? But if I go into it knowing that either I'm the breadwinner that's going to be for at least for the beginning of this relationship, or that I had my own thing going on before you even came in, I'm still running the risk of this quote unquote forever if I never brought in a prenup and you still decided to leave and wanted to take half of what I already had for me. Like that can be a thing too.
But you're missing this, W. This is what I'm saying. That's true to a point. But when I have the mindset of that, this is it. The euphoria of it's forever and a day, right? And I've done the right thing and chosen the right one, and I believe. See, belief is a really, really, really hard thing for a lot of people. This is called heavy talk, right? So what happens is, it's when you're religious. Let's just go with religion, right?
Okay.
When a person believes in what they believe in, when they believe, let's just say Christianity, right? And they believe, and a person don't believe in Christianity, right? So they come in with all of the things that they think they can fight against. Have you ever met Jesus? Did you see Jesus? How you know Jesus is, and how you know you saved, and how you know he answered you, and how you hear his voice. But the person who believes, right? He believes that that's what it is, and guess what? There's nothing somebody else can do to persuade him that it ain't, and it's going to have to figure itself out in the wash because he believes with everything in him that this is what it is. So when you go to relationships, people believe that if they introduce anything other than what they believe, they're throwing something in on their own self, or they're making you believe within themselves that this ain't how it's gonna happen. So if I introduce anything to it, I'm almost like jinxing myself, right? I'm almost saying this is a possibility, but if I don't introduce it, I can believe that there is no possibility. So it's up here. I see what you're looking at me like that. It's definitely in the mindset. It's in the mindset of the individuals. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. If we're going to correlate it to the example of religion, there is different levels of belief that everybody has to flex and follow for them. That's why it's mostly a choice that he gives you in order to believe, you know what I mean, his son died on the cross, everybody's sins. Okay. From there, if we going off that same premise, there's a lot of folks in the faith that believe that certain things will happen, but if we believe like we say we do, regardless of how much you believe in it, things either you reap what you sow on certain things, or how you either took care of yourself, or what was put out there, or you had to be an example for something, because down the line you won't be able to appreciate other things until you go through the motions of. Reason why I say that, I want to bring up two examples. Today's market in the dating world, a lot of folks that get married don't last nothing close to 3 years. If you get 5 in, it's like, wow, great for you. Even then, let's say you got 5 years in, but you was ignoring all the signs and the flags beforehand, and now because of what you chose, you reap what you sow because you brought in this person. You accepted this person, not seeing how this person was showing you all along. My only thing is, if I'm going to go with what I believe in, I also have to be realistic on what else I signed up for and what else I brought on. Because some of this ain't just gonna be hitting you sideways. It's some stuff that you chose to put in or chose to accept.
But let me ask you this, nephew. Let me ask you this before we move on.
Okay.
Name me one person other than Travis Hunter who would have to deal with whatever that recourse is when it comes to him and her. That's why it's his decision.
No, nobody. Yeah, nobody.
So we don't have
that's their relationship.
It's our opinion, but at the end of the day, ain't no lawyer gonna come to us, ain't no judge gonna come to us. We ain't betting on FanDuel, so we don't get no extra, you know what I'm saying? We ain't no overs or no unders on it. So
I don't want to
direct it.
I don't want to say it as if I'm saying this on him. Yeah, it's definitely their relationship. I was just talking on the premise of the prenup and how that ain't so crazy to bring in, especially if you a guy of that type of value.
I don't believe in it. If I don't believe in it, you can't make me believe in it. That's why I went to the religion part, because of
then they won't be able to be in a relationship.
a prenup is just like, if I don't believe in it, that's what it is. But if I believe in it and you don't want to deal with it, then I can't deal with you. It's about how strong I feel about it. And apparently, he didn't feel that strong. He said it, but guess what? Something happened. That changed his mind.
Yeah,
So,
she convinced him real good.
hey, you know, sometimes you lean your head back, your eye rolling back of your head. Whatever you say, you know, hey. And on better news, but we can kick off. Bro, you know, I ain't taking none of that. Whatever you say, I'm going. Yeah, so it is what it is. And that is the truth, Roof. That's the truth. Whatever happened for him to change his mind, well, none of us there. But at the end of the day, if it works out for him, great. If it don't, they ain't gonna call me and ask me for nail dime to give to him.
It is what it is.
Thank you, sir. And that's what it is. Love you, Travis. Wish you the best. All right, here we go. What's our next one? We are going to stay in sports, man. We're gonna stay in sports.
Yeah, we're gonna stay in sports, but go ahead and we 30 minutes in. Go ahead and let them know who Big Daddy is, for real.
Oh yeah, we here, man. It is man, Big Daddy Times. I am the host of Heavy Talk, the podcast. I'm also your local chef, caterer, travel chef, celebrity chef, and I am the creative mind behind Big Daddy Shake and Rub, all-purpose seasoning, and Big Daddy barbecue flavor cooking sauce. Hey man, look, y'all need to holler at me. www.bigdaddybond.com. We 30 in, y'all, and we about to get back to some more heavy talk in just a few. So stay tuned. Tell a friend, bring a friend. Like, comment, and share. The world needs to know that you're watching Heavy Talk with Big Daddy and Nephew in the building, y'all. Come on back, Nephew.
Yeah. All right, so in sports news, this is pretty current. The Knicks have let go of Mr. Tom Thibodeau.
Dumb. Oh, we're not wedding now, but that's dumb. I just don't. This is if we were talking football, this is a Mickey Loomis move right here. I think his cousin, Foolish Loomis, must be in New York. So why would you take somebody who has put together everything except, I think he missing one, maybe two, but one or two good draft picks can have them in the finals in the next couple of years, right?
They can't even do that. This is the thing. I really don't like this because he's being used as a scapegoat for something he didn't even build. We gotta, if for the sports fans out there, we gotta remember that this guy was inherited a team, given a few pieces, and then they threw away half of their potential pieces for players that, let's be honest, they was just trying to buddy up with friends that was already on the team. And this is where I'm going with it, because you said as far as like with draft picks and how they a few pieces away from that. Well, last year they brought over two big names and threw away their draft pieces. They can't draft high until at least 2030 or maybe 2028. They have a 4 to 3 year window now, and their team, unless you trade away pieces, I don't think you can get better from where they at outside of effort. Like, if we using the big man they just brought over, people forget this was his first year in. He hasn't even been with this team long enough for it to be a good enough continuity or really familiar. Like, they really overachieved from where they were supposed to be.
Yeah, I think they surprised themselves when they beat Boston. I think they don't,
because they weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And now you throw away the dude that gets you somewhere you haven't been in 50 some odd years. Stop it.
I think, like you said, I think it's some back office boardroom scapegoat type thing. And I'm sorry for it. I was sorry to hear it. I was acting like he was kidding to me when I heard it. They're like, In the words of Ride 49, what the hell? Like, really? Where we going with this? But you know,
How
it
do
is
you know that song?
what? Ralph Wallace. So you saying because I got gray in my beard, right? If I'm gray in the beard, I ain't supposed to be in the know?
No, you just
I threw you with that,
threw
right?
me off.
Okay. So I ain't supposed to know Gotti, NBA Youngboy, none of them, right? I'm supposed to just be sitting up under a tree.
I'm sure you know their name, but I'm like, I
and
ain't think you
right?
indulged.
You know, trust me, I don't really indulge, but I have to. When we go to this next segment, you're gonna understand why I have to know. All right, so let's get the last one in, and that is the finals are set.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, see the Pacers. All right, nephew, I'm gonna tell you to stand before the world and give us your choice. You can't take it back once you give it on camera. Who you going with?
My safe bet is gonna be OKC. They got too much. They got way too much. They are on. I feel like if they close out this finals with like a 4-1 or 4-0 run, we're looking at another OKC, another Golden State Warriors. That's just the type of talent they have on their team. Whether you go to Jeremy Williams, who could be at least a Clay adjacent to SGA, or you can go to the big man with Chet Holmgren. That buddy is a stud, even though he's inconsistent too. I feel like if they hunker down on the potential of their team, I don't see nobody stopping them. Now, the Pacers have a puncher's chance because I didn't expect them to really get this far with the Knicks, and they shut them down. So
I've been watching, and I'm a sports guy. I'm a sports guy from the point of watching and figuring out the actual analytics of just taking out all the hoopla, but looking at the individualism of sports and the people themselves. Here's the thing. I believe what you believe. Are the Pacers just going to lay down and not do it? I don't think so. But when it comes to it, if all things are hitting on all cylinders, OKC cannot be stopped. Listen, man, I watched the game with OKC, and by halftime, I was tired. These boys is running. They running, and they don't step up one at a time. When they come at you, they got two people firing on all cylinders at all times. Like, okay, it's something when you just got a one-man show, right? If SG was the only person out there by himself, that'd be something different. But when you get out there and you got one man in the corner, him at the top of the key, and I watch listen, anything within the free throw, in front of the 3-point line and right behind the free throw, this kid ain't missing. Like, I'm like, what in the world does he has going on in the consistency of Lollapalooza? What I'm like, bruh, off the glass, straight in, underhand, right hand, left hand, fall back, fall up. And when I talk about can he make you foul when you don't want to foul? You throw his hand up, your hand come down. Like, I didn't mean to do that. It's going to be a really good series. I think the Pacers are on a high right now. I think if they come out on the same energy they won the last series with, it's going to be really interesting. But the boys better eat their Wheaties. They better suck their oxygen, and they better get ready to roll because them OKC. I'm telling you, I was sitting on the end of the couch going, huffing like I had been in the game. So it is what it is. All right, nephew.
Yeah. Closing on out. I'm definitely we on the same page with that. I want to see what Pascal is going to be on since he got that championship pedigree on the team. and it was interesting seeing how he was the X factor on there. I don't think OKC have anybody that can pretty much slow him down. Um, I'm interested to see how Tyrese Halliburton is going to be. It looked like he got real pissed off and folks said he was the most overrated. So if it's ever a time to shut somebody up,
It's now.
it is now, especially in the finals. So yeah, I'm definitely with you on that.
Yeah. So in our last segment, before we get to our topic of the week, I want to say our condolences go out to all families, all those who love lost ones at the Mobile County Sanger Theater. For those who don't know, there was a shooting at a children's recital. You know, I get it. I get you have to carry a gun. I get you have the right to carry your guns, but for there to be more than one weapon in a place where people didn't carry badges, they weren't security. Here's my issue. When you carry a gun and you don't have the right mindset anyway, when the gun is your answer to the question, I feel like you shouldn't even have the gun. Because a lot of people who carry guns, it is their end to the argument. They don't have the skills, the communication skills. They don't have the de-escalation skills. It's like, I got this gun and I wish you asked me anything I don't like, because here's my answer on my hip. What would stop a person from saying, you know what? All these kids around, I ain't gonna argue with you. Meet me outside. Matter of fact, you know what? Meet me in the park across the street. Matter of fact, I'm driving a blue Chevy in the back of the parking lot, license plate number, come and find out. I don't know. But to draw and pull a weapon in a place full of parents, children, loved ones, because you were angry, because you want to claim self-defense, but you don't. It's like, no, we're not doing that. He's been charged with murder, and they just put it up to capital murder because the man who was killed, his children were there, and they had other people in the building. And there was also a young lady who was struck in the foot with non-life-threatening injuries. But man, like, I get being angry, and if we just had to, at best, at most case scenario, argue, grab each other by the collar, throw a punch, you know what I'm saying? Which is still the kids. Like, does that not mean anything? The kids. Like, we're here at the kids, I'm still going, like, we're not at a football game, we're at a basketball game, we're not in a nightclub. We're with the kids. We're here celebrating a milestone, an event for children. So yeah, nephew, this one kind of made me get in my feelings a little bit, because I'm like, at what point do we stop? Where does it stop? And when does your mind tell you, when you're gonna have to be part of your outfit, don't go. If you lay out your shoes, your socks, your pants, your belt, your suspenders, your sweater, and your gun, maybe you should just stay home.
I'm with you. Like pre-show, we I found out about this pretty late. This is what I'll say to that. I completely 100% agree with what you said. Especially around my age, it seems like that's the first answer is to flash the gun, and then the second is to threaten you with it. And it's a lot of folks that don't even know how to use it. So the intimidation factor that you try to use with it there, you might even mistakenly shoot somebody then. And it's sad that that's the option that a lot of people use first, or even second or third, and it's not the last one. like I told you during the pre-show, as messed up as it sounds, I'm man, it ain't surprising me. I'm more like, dang, it's another one. Like
And you know what they
a
talk
lot.
about like is I think these guys were like grown. I'm
Yeah. So
without
it's not it. Yeah. So you can't even use it so much as, oh, that's just the young dude. That's just the mentality of people at this point.
at this.
Like it's unfortunate that things like this happen to show you that good people can't have nice things. Like can't go to the theater, can't go to church, can't go to a children's recital now.
Because
Like
there's
that's
somebody in there with the mentality of, and like you said, now you used to say, "Oh, if I walk in and see too many young people, I'm walking out," which is still to a degree,
no, that's still facts.
but,
That's still facts.
but now you got folks my age, 50s, and I've been watching the news, and the new trending thing is older cats getting because when older cats used to get in arguments, they would fight. They may even pull a knife. The older cats did a lot of switchblade and case knife carrying, right? So you might get stuck, you might get cut. But even the older cats now are selling, arguing with shooting people. Man, 56 found dead. Man, 46, 50 guys in an argument in the house. You know what I'm saying? People shooting their spouses. And it's not like all younger dudes. I'm looking at the ages, and the ages are 55, 46, 45. You know what I'm saying? You even got, I think a while back last year, there was a couple of dudes in there, 160, 170, and they all even ended up with somebody getting shot. Like, bring your old ass home, bro. Just hobble on down on your cane and live another day. Like, like for real. And, the only thing when older people used to pull their gun or something, they had to be really, really pissed off. But I always use the New Jack City thing. Idolater, your soul is required of you in hell. You know what I'm saying? Shaking his hand. When you old people with gun out, what you think of their hands shaking? And like, Pop, put that gun down. And now it's something totally different, man. So not to make light of it because it's not a light situation. It really hurt my heart to see it, to hear it, to think that a children's recital is not even a safe place. Mental-wise, mentality-wise, like, pardon me turning like that, the wind is blowing the palm trees here in Palm Springs, California. But, man, so let's just get into the topic. And this really saddens me. And it's a whole nother show we have to have on communication and the level of usage and deadly force. And maybe when we have one of the representatives from the sheriff department, the police department on, we could talk about it in depth. This week's topic is the entitlement era. Welcome to Heavy Talk, you all. We're in the final stages of this week's show. And we're on our topic for today, and it's called the entitlement era. So when I was talking to nephew earlier, he said, well, what does that mean? So, every 10 years or so, a different era is created, whether it's in age, whether it's in, sports, the Tommy Dorsett era, the Emmitt Smith era, the John Wayne era, the you know what I'm saying, the Peyton Manning era. There's always this thing that happens that describes the time or the times of those years, right? And so I said the entitlement era because I've been watching news lately. And I don't know how much news you watch, nephew, or if you even get caught up in it, but I get caught up in a lot of internet news and TV news. And what I've seen here lately for the last few years is children feeling that they're entitled, that parents are supposed to give them this. And I'll tell you what sparked it today. I was on the internet watching something, and a gentleman asked his son to go help his mom, right? So
Okay.
the daddy told his son go help his mom. The son said, I have to respond to these comments. So I guess he's a blogger or YouTuber or whatever.
Okay.
Dad said, I don't care what you got to respond to, go help your mother. The son then turned around and said, these people are more important to me than helping my mother. So then the daddy came in the room and he started beating up on the monitor on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And he destroyed the monitor. He said, now that you can't see these people, go help your mother. And the kid was still standing there going, those people are more important than that. Those people are more important than that. Who is more important than the woman that gave you life? Really? So I started reading some of the comments up underneath the video, and people saying, he has a right to his privacy and he has a right to, and what was that important with helping his mama that couldn't wait and all these other things. Because his dad had told him to. That's what was important. So that brought me down the rabbit hole of this life, this era of children, and even something else I seen on the internet was they had a parent that was being served a subpoena because their child wasn't going to school. And the twist to it was the parent was sending the child out to school every day. It wasn't like the parent was even keeping the child home.
Mm-hmm.
But the law states that the parent is responsible for making sure that the child is right.
Yeah.
But if I'm sending the child out, how do I make them stay? How do I know they're going? And why? They're just. It's so many rules that say they give us leeway, but then don't give us leeway. I'm a firm believer, and I'm a believer. So I'm definitely under the belief that when the system, and I'm talking about not just school, but I'm talking about the world at large, start dismissing God and saying they can do things without God, that's when a lot of this stuff start creeping in. That's just my personal belief that when you try to do anything without God, you're going to have a problem. But then when the softness of the laws became to where they protected the children, and I get why they thought they were doing it. I'm not for nobody being abused. I'm not for nobody being tortured, right? But when the laws became so broad that it ended up leaning into the favor of the child and not the parent, to the point where the parent was being touched or going to get touched or being threatened when he's trying to do any what they call harsh correction, right? And so now the child can call somebody because they are being, what's the word I'm looking for? Chastised, right? Or punished. And if they feel being chastised or punished in a way that they feel they shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? Or their rights are being violated, because kids have rights now. And so,
They ain't had rights before.
I mean, to a certain degree, to be honest with you, not really. Here's the thing, and we talk about this a lot of time. The parent that is the parent today who doesn't want to do what the parent before them did, sometimes forget that it was the parent who did to them what they did that made them the good parent that they are today.
I agree to a point with that.
And I'm saying it to a point. I get it.
Yeah, I'm not signing all the way off on it, because some of that stuff probably warped a few parents' opinion on certain things, or maybe they have a jaded way of handling things based off of how they got treated. As far as discipline wise, I think any child needs discipline. Especially the older they get, they should have there should be a responsibility and a weight of accountability that develops heavier. That way they're able to they able to weigh the consequences and the results of their actions a little bit more.
But
And this
go ahead.
but this where I'm at with that. This is why I say that. If we going back to the to the example that you just used with old buddy and his kid and how they felt like the internet was way more important than their mom and daddy. Their mom and daddy opened up a door for that to be an outlet to where he could even feel like that. That door was open way before it got to the boiling point of you need him to do something or you need him to go and help your mom, his mama, and now he's not doing it. There was probably other instances where you were the option. He saw you wasn't answering, or he saw you didn't treat what was going on with him important enough to where the internet did. And now you drove him in the direction of finding another outlet and valuing it more than who is actually present in his life. And that's a parenting problem to me. Now,
but
the parent opened up that entitlement. I will say that the parent opened up that entitlement, but that is a parenting problem to me.
That is, but let's talk about this because some of it is parenting, some of it is laws, because I believe that there should be a healthy fear and reverence to an adult or adult person in your life, right?
Okay.
But they have even stripped that option away from us because when you verbally talk with some sort of strength in your voice or you know what I'm saying, or firmness, right? They all of a sudden are being verbally abused. They all of a sudden don't talk to the children like that. You could be in a store. I know, I'll give you a prime example. I was in a store one time. And my mama said, don't touch such and such, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put your hands on such and such, we're going to have a problem, right? All I can tell you is that for some reason I didn't believe. I touched such and such, and when I got up off the floor, I knew not to touch such and such no more. All I'm saying is we can't even have that type, even without the physical. If somebody sees somebody talking to a kid rough in the store, why is he talking to that child like that? He should not be in that child's face. He's in that child's personal space. Everyone needs their own personal. It's some stuff that's created out here right now, nephew. I don't know if you keep up with it, but it's challenging to the fact of something else I've seen on the internet. A lady found a gun in her child's room, turning it to the police, right? Mm-hmm. He's fussing with the mama, talking about he about to be 16, he grown, and he needs this out there to protect him, and why she turning? What? First of all, when I turned the pistol in, I probably would have been walking in with the pistol to the police. All of us would have went to the police. Me, you, and the pistol. Because if you have the capability, the desire, or the audacity to bring a gun in my house at 16, right? They need to find somewhere for you to stay anyway. Because I'm not about to sleep in the house with thinking that you may get mad enough at me to use it on me, or you're going to pull it. I don't know. I'm just saying that would have been a no for me, dog. So you wouldn't have to argue about you grown, because grown people, this is one thing I've always believed, grown take care of their own. So the minute you tell me you grown, cool. You must got somewhere to be. You got to have somewhere to be. Because grown take care of their own. You tell me if I'm wrong.
I agree. I agree. This is the other perspective I got on it. Depending on buddy environment or where they at, unfortunately, he might have felt like he needed that. Unfortunately, he might have felt like he wasn't safe without it. That comes with identifying where y'all at and stuff like that. So I won't go into it heavy. And you being from Cali, you know what I mean by that. So to a point, that's where I'll leave that point right there. The other point I will go in on to is you bringing it in, and it kind of go towards your entitlement thing of why you felt like this was justified, or like this was okay to do.
Let's go back.
If you know your kid is very impressionable and easy to get persuaded to do stuff, he might feel like he's entitled to certain actions that he know he not. Like I done seen a few good dudes or a few good kids, and they'll be about around my age, and they'll think it's cool to do certain stuff that they know their parents ain't really on for real, for real. Like, you know, you can't go around and cuss in front of your mama and daddy like the white kids do. But you grew up with your friend Tommy, and Tommy gets it off on his mama something crazy. And now you being around that, you might feel emboldened to try to get that off. And if it actually works, or you actually get away with it, there's no real accountability for the fact you are not like Tommy. I think that's the biggest point. A lot of these kids, I wouldn't say it's a fear of adults. They don't have no sense of responsibility and no weight of accountability on them.
True.
Because you got to be accountable. There ain't no likes. There ain't no favoritisms in accountability. Everybody gets what they put in.
So let's go back to the small. That's a large scale, right? That's on the deep end of this vessel, right?
Okay.
That's the deep end. Let's talk about something as simple as name brands. I was looking at someone in there where the mom says she worked overtime just to be able to afford her child name brand clothing because she didn't want him to not have, or want him to have more than she had, or he told her he wasn't going to wear anything but name brand. He wasn't going to school if he didn't have designer on. $1,000 shoes, $300 t-shirts, and she was working overtime to provide this lifestyle for him because she didn't want her son to feel some kind of way or want him to feel less than, and want him to have the things that he desired. What makes him feel like he's entitled to that with no job? I don't know, but
I know what it is. I see it plain as day.
Tell you about certain shoes they're gonna have, or certain things they're gonna wear, certain things they're not gonna. And I was talking to my granddaughter the other day, and I told her, she said, she sent me a picture of some shoes she wanted. I was like, oh, them nice. So I looked them up, and they're like over $100-something. And I was like, this cool, but what I'm willing to do is maybe go half as a present to you or for your good grades or whatever it may be. But what I said to her was this: you're starting to work and you're wanting to wear shoes that cost more than the shoes I wear, and I work every day. The math ain't mapping. And to some people, that's a hard thing to say, or think that you should. Why you don't buy that, baby, that? And you know you got the money. I do. And I can. But at what point do you start not enabling them and letting them know that, hey, I have what I have because I work for it. I have what I have, I that's part of the entitlement era too.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. My dad, he told me something when I was little, and he was like, because I think I was trying to ask him for a game, and Pops could have got the game for me too. He instead said no, of course, and he was like, "Reason I ain't giving it to you is because I don't know if you would appreciate it." And I was like, "What? I appreciate this, yada yada yada." But he was like, "Well, look at how you carry stuff. What was that right there? Ain't that the game that I got, yada yada yada?" And he made the point to tell me, he was like, "You won't appreciate anything for real, unless it's coming out of your own hard work or your own pockets." And I was like, I appreciate it. He was like, "You get it when you get older." Now that I'm older and it's a lot of stuff that comes out of my pocket and the hard work and sweat I have to put into it.
You slow your roll.
Oh no, do I really need that for real?
Hard ties.
So it's a lot of kids that are missing that point. The older I got, the more I saw just how, because it was a lot of stuff that my parents just couldn't do. That, you know what I mean? I saw down the line just how much they had to put in for the little stuff I was able to get. So it made me appreciate the little things I did have, and I understood why it was a lot of the time no, because they would put it out plain as day to me. All right, if I do this, you missing out on something else. They was as real as that with me. They was like, all right, you can get these shoes. You're not going to be able to get this for football. Oh, okay. You can get this game right here, but is this game worth that? And they would be concrete on it. It was no negotiation. All right, you chose this crap momentarily. All right, you missed out on something down the line. So it made me really appreciative, and it weighed what I grew to knew was important and what wasn't important. Wants versus needs. A lot of these kids feel like everything they want, they needed it.
Yeah. And I will say that every entitlement situation is not always the kid's fault.
It's not.
A lot of time parents build the entitlement foundation because it's cute at time when they're younger. Oh, my baby. Oh, let me buy my baby. Oh, my baby looks this. And so as they grow, they become used to a certain thing or a certain type of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So when you have the time of, you can get them a big wheel, or you can get them a green machine, or you can get them an electric Mercedes car, right? That's crazy. No, I'm just saying. Oh, I want my baby to look cute, or I want people to, when they see my baby in that, they're really gonna see me, right? And so now, when your baby turns 16, and they remember you buying a Mercedes car when they were a child, and now you want to buy them a Honda, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever, their 16th birthday, or they're seeing these kids on TV have these big sweet 16 parties that cost them $100,000 for a sweet 16 party, having entertainers come in and all that, and you tell them you want to take them to the hibachi bar as a family, and they're like, ain't nobody doing that. You mean I don't get no car? You mean I can't afford? You mean you can't rent a venue for me? You mean I can't get a touch? And then you wonder why. So I don't want to just put it all on the kids, but I do want to, as we get ready to close out, and may have to have a part two, I want people to realize that it is a thing now, that the entitlement era is a thing. It's going to only be changed by the people that have the ability to change it, which are the parents who have allowed it for whatever their perception is of it, whether it's under the auspice of, I want them to have more than me, I want my child to be freer to speak. I mean, and all of it has a fine line, right? There's a borderline to it all. Children do have a freedom of speech. They do have a right, but there's a point where they stop. Children do have a right to their own space, but there's a point where it has to stop. And I think that we have allowed people outside our homes, the internet, folks that don't even have children, people who were in abusive situations, think everybody's in one, so they've laid their rules upon all of our tables, right? And we've allowed them to set up this new frame of the world. And that's religiously, that's in judicial, that's in school. You know, I got to have a conversation right now with my grandson because I just realized the other day, I'm taking his word at what he's telling me about school. Here it is the end of the school year, and his word ain't really been what his word was supposed to be. And I didn't got so caught up into just, you know what I'm saying? And my daughter had to make me realize I've had actual papers to post for his sister. I've had actual papers to post for his little brother. But all I had for him was his word. And now guess what? But if I let him think that that's okay, that's going to be another problem. This is not okay. It's what they used to call nipping things in the bud. When you see it, you deal with it. I'll give you a short story. So one of my daughters one day was this mouthing off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the bedroom. The mother was in the room with them, right? And I could hear her. And it was too much banter. Like, I don't like back and forth banter between children and adults, right? So I could hear her mom say, well, I said what I said, and that's it, right? But by now I'm getting up to come out the door to see what they're, you know, what's the problem.
Yeah.
So I'm walking this way, mom walks past me, and my daughter comes out the room that they were in. So she pulls the door, bow. First wrong thing. You don't get to slam nothing in this house you don't pay for. Cool. But listen to me, Kevin. This is where the problem started. So there was a stairwell right next to where we were going. So when she pulled the door, boom, she walked up the stairs. But I hear her still talking and mumbling words, right? About her mother. She might have been 3 steps up. Right?
You did the scorpion. Get over here.
Now, but watch this now. But this is the important part. Nip it in the bud. Don't you ever let me hear you talking under your breath about your mother, me, or any other adult that's trying to tell you something. Because if you do, we're going to have a problem. End of discussion, never happen again. Now, has she done it somewhere else? Has she done it in her room? I can guarantee you she made sure the coast was clear if she ever done it again. Because where I was at, now we're going to nip this in the bud. Because if you let them feel like they can do this, if you let them get away with it, if you let them, and we've all had our trial. We've all had our thing where we tried our parents, we said something, right? And I must admit, some of our parents were a little extreme, but it didn't kill us. And I think the memory of it helped us along the way sometime, you know, and a lot of it's not tolerated today, especially a lot of the physicalness of it. I mean, I'm 56, so my generation of parenting and people, and it was a lot of physical things that went on, right?
Yeah, got down.
And it was a lot of rough talk. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But in today's world, it's definitely called abusive from the standpoint of mental or verbally, or you know, even sometimes physical. So,
emotional
and all that. And I won't. I'll say this, and y'all can write me later. I definitely believe that the outer aspects of those who are not in the family have created too soft of a space. I think that there is a line. I think that there is a safe situation, but I think as it pertains to now, the space is really too soft, right? Everybody wants you to land on pillows and marshmallows. Sometimes you got to hit the ground, bro. Sometimes you got to let that asphalt catch that hand and snap that skin. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a prime example. So, as you see, I'm in Palm Springs. So I'm at the hotel this morning, right? And it's like buku kids at the pool or whatever, right? So the lady got about 6 kids out there, but she's telling them, you do this, hey, go here, go there, hey, stop running, you know, everybody come together. So I'm sitting there eating breakfast and I hear this, ah! Hey, what's going on? You know? And so when I turn, the little girl got a little scrape across her foot. She got a little tiny bit of blood, you know. But it's because she decided to go over to the door that her mama told her not to leave and go over to, and the door was an automatic door and went across her foot, right? Twofold here. Should the parent have kept an eye on the child? True enough. But should the child have listened? Because if the child had listened, it never would have happened. So now, if something was to come of it, in the judicial system, guess who will be held accountable? The parent.
The parent.
You should have kept an eye on. You should have had a better, true, but not true, because as a witness, I heard the parent tell the child who's well capable of listening not to go there. So this is a repercussion of not listening. But we don't want them to have any repercussions. We don't want them to, and our scapegoat is always to say, you know what we should have done. And true enough, we should have, but they need to know what they need, their responsibility also. You said something earlier, and I'm going to let you go with this one, nephew. You said accountability. That's what's missing. Accountability is a real big piece that's missing in this entitlement process. Parents have to be accountable, right? And responsible for their actions. But the children, and I'm talking about those who have sensibility and the wherewithal, not anybody who has any mental issues or anything of that nature, but children with the capability of understanding and knowing right from wrong have to have responsibility and accountability for their own actions. So once I tell it to you and you do something in the opposite, don't be surprised that I do exactly what I told you I was going to do. And see, they're doing things because they feel like there's no repercussion for what they do. And they feel like if there is a repercussion, they're backed up by the system to say, hey, look at what they did me. And all I did was this. I should have played with matches. I was just playing with a match, but you burned the whole house down. So I don't know, nephew. It's a real thing. It's deep. I think we got to come back and X out a whole bunch of our first topics and talk about this thing, because I want people to understand that this entitlement thing, this whole era, because it's an era. If you go back and look at 10 years ago, right? 15 years, we didn't have this. People didn't have this.
I wouldn't say we didn't have it. It just wasn't.
It's not as prevalent as it is now. I ain't gonna say they didn't have it, but it don't sit. It wasn't sitting right in front of you, and the thing that you felt that you had to have. We had requests, But now children get demands. I'm not going to.
But I think that's that maturation process in the middle of that, when children were having requests, enough of those turned into demands to where they was answered. And my biggest point to folks, because a lot of folks is like, well, how can we get back to this or get back to that or get this or that? At this point, it is what it is. My main thing is, are you going to be able to stop the next growing phase from this? Because it's only going to grow into something different. What can it grow back to where you, because a lot of stuff nowadays go in circles. You can even tell from the trends, whether it be the dance moves that y'all used to do back in the day, getting popped back up now, and you like, oh, that was the Charlie Brown Cupid Shuffle, something, yada yada yada, cha cha. Like whatever it was back then, usually comes back around, and usually that goes towards mentalities and the wherewithal with people. I
So
think if we have something similar to that with the mentality from the culture or just from us as adults, and it's gonna start with mine. It's gonna start with my generation, to be honest with you. If we're able to do that, then my grandkids hopefully won't have to be like the generation right after me. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at with it.
So what you're gonna have to ask yourself: am I willing to apply the pressure to stop the bleeding, or am I just gonna let them bleed out? Because it's gonna take pressure to stop the bleeding. You're gonna have to push. It's gonna take a push. You're gonna have to do something against what you normally what comes naturally, and say, you know what? Okay, I'm not gonna use an extension cord or switch off a tree, but I'm gonna find some way that you feel the repercussions of your actions. You know what I'm saying? But we can't even make them hold books no more. You can't make them exercise. You can't make them break a sweat. I'm just always baffled by the new stuff that come out. So my kids were in day camp, right? And I went to the day camp and nobody was outside. It's around lunchtime. So I go inside, I'm like, where the kids at? Oh, they inside, it's too hot outside for them. I said, I don't know about nobody else's kids, but it ain't too hot outside for my kids. What we talking about? I used to change 3 shade colors during the summer. But now it's too hot for them out there. They have to have their own water bottles. They need to be hydrated. They're allergic to grass. They're allergic to weed.
They're allergic to grass.
Listen, I'm telling you, man, boy. People think I'm telling you, like, when? Where I just want to know when it happened, because I know it's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's in every part of every. Okay, let's get one better than that, nephew. Said we talking. I got 3 minutes, but check this out. Maybe you did. How old are you now?
I'm 26.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, you didn't experience it because you probably were one of these people that got to choose what you was gonna eat.
No.
Yeah. Did you get to choose, like, or did you have to eat what was at the house?
I had to eat what was at. I still have to eat what was at the house. But no, I had to eat what was at the house. I'm 98.
Do you have friends? Do you have friends who I'm not eating that? They get to order something different, or like 4 different meals in the house at dinner time because nobody.
No.
Okay, so you and
no,
that.
My generation when I was a kid was from 2000 to when did I get to about 13? From 2000 to at least 2012.
Okay.
By 2012, I started seeing a few of that from the schools I was in. Because I was kind of summer everywhere. But early in my child. No,
But that's
not
that's
at
how
all.
you get I don't eat this, or I need all the such and such, or I was telling
Now
my
I
lady,
did have something I didn't eat. I did have something I didn't eat, and that was because I couldn't digest it well, and that was macaroni and
that's
cheese.
a physical ailment. That's a serious ailment. That ain't your choice. That's your body rejecting it. But I'm talking
Yeah.
about the lady was talking out there about how her kid wanted to have something delivered, and
Oh, he just wanted some different food
yeah,
because
and
y'all was eating
like,
that, and he didn't want it.
not only did he only want something different delivered, the place was right up the street. He could have drove, but he didn't want to drive because he didn't want to get off the game. Somebody wouldn't hate. Somebody wouldn't have ate, and it wouldn't have been me. Right?
Man,
Here we
if
go
I
again.
did that, I just wasn't gonna eat that night.
But here again, they got their own cards. They got their own little thing. But they still need you to put money on their card. But they're paying for with their own cards. You know, one of my cousins' grandkids spent $500 on one of her credit cards on Robux and some other stuff, ordering games and stuff. And I asked, I said, he's still living? Ain't no way I would have spent $500 on nobody's card. And then say, I'm sorry, and talked about it. Am I saying people should hurt them like that? No, I'm not. So get off my page. But what I'm saying is, there should have been some sort of, because when I called, he was still playing the game. So at the very least, that game would have been packed up. I could call the credit card company, probably have my money refunded. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he don't get to still act like life is okay. You don't get to, you know what I'm saying? Still be sitting in the room playing. He could watch the walls. He could think the game in his head. He could draw some pictures and move them around and create a new game. But no. Sorry, not sorry. I'm just saying. And I'll close with this one. I was in a school one day, and a lady came to school, and I just heard her and the student just going at it, fussing. And they start cussing each other. So I was like, what's that? So the daughter was fussing with the mama because the mama had took her cell phone. And she said, that's my phone. So I asked the mom, I said, you mind if I talk to your daughter for a minute? Because one, we doing too much talking. But excuse me, ma'am, like, who bought the phone? Who paid the bill? And what do you think you get the right to cuss like you and her on the same? Hey, I'm tired of that so-and-so. She always, where you sleep at night?
Where you sleep at tonight?
How much a light bill is? How much a water bill? You know what I'm saying? How much is your phone bill? Blank stare, no answers. You got life all in the wrong buckets, my sweets. Now I need you to go back in there and apologize to your mother and tell her you're going to try to figure this out. But this ain't what's happening. But that's the pressure. Because if we don't apply the pressure to stop the bleeding, we looking on the news in the next few years or something, but she didn't choke the mama out or hurt the mom. You know what I'm saying? Or the mama hurt her because she out of control and she felt scared of her. And now the mama got to go through time for hurting her child, who nobody wanted to listen to because she had got out of hand. Nephew, I hate to have to go, but man, this has been a good one. We got to finish this sometime. Thank you to everybody that's listening. Share, like, subscribe. What You Cooking Big Daddy, WHATCHA. What You Cooking Big Daddy. Please go to my YouTube page. Follow me on all platforms. If you're local in Bessemer, come see me on a Friday at a place called Lil Mama's, 1200 Hall Avenue, where I got the best fish in town. The best fish in town. That's right. Come see me. And don't forget, tune into the Joe Lockett Show on all platforms. You know what I'm saying? It's been a wonderful day. Palm Springs is got a little overcast right now, but it's nice and warm out here. And
Yeah, a little nice out there. It's all dark over here. It's-
So just know, man, love you, nephew. We appreciate you.
Love
Same
you,
back,
BD.
same that channel. Next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Tell a friend, bring a friend. Come on in, man. And I think we'll be back in studio next Tuesday, man, with some more. I got some surprise people who've already signed up to be guests. I need y'all to stick with me. This is just week 4, and I got so much more to go. Heavy Talk, the podcast. Love you. Hope to see you soon. Signing off.